So I want to say rest in peace to all those who died in the Grenfell incident, and I want to show love, strength and support to the community and those affected. And I'd advise people to go on Google and search Grenfell Action Group. It's the blog that predicted the fire in 2013, a matter of years before the fire actually happened, to show that it weren't an accident. Love and prayers for the fallen, Tony, Yasin and Steve, and the hundreds of other people that heaven called and had to leave. But those who died by the fire won't see it in the hereafter. Evil became clear after. Now I hope you hear prayers and hear laughter. Ethnic cleansing and regenerations. Do we ever ask for them? But we do get ignored when we ask for bathroom lift repairs and gardening. Regeneration insinuates we're a piece of shit that needs a polish. And if you check the area plans, you'll see they want the entire area demolished. The culture's always made for the rich, so we couldn't care less about graffiti, brick blocks or the colour of a bridge. They increase prices to attack us because we're financially inferior, and offered countless Trojan horses while we don't care about our exterior. We used to look beautiful, rustic and thriving with character. We don't want to look like Westfield, we want to look like LADBROKE Grove and Latimer. And meanwhile, they left us rotting on the interior. Yeah, the buildings look like robots now, but it feels a damn lot drearier. We've been protesting and we've been pleading, and they've been repeatedly denying. We've been creating petitions and they haven't been replying. Well, they have, but only by sending threats and ignoring our needs. They threatened the blogger for whistleblowing when he predicted the fire in 2013. And if you take a look around here, looks like the ethnic cleansing is succeeding. I don't want to leave here so it can be cleaned. I'd rather remain here and stay dirty. Why do so many people here still live in their mum's houses at the age of 30? Because once you leave that ticking time bomb family house, that they make it impossible to return. They left us to rot in the hope we leave the same way that they left us to burn. Small businesses were all you could ever find around here. Now you'll notice all the chains and overpriced designers around here. You'll notice all the private apartments we can't afford, and you'll notice the constant harassment of the poor by the law. They said they spent 10 million. 10 million on what? 10 million on the show, but not interior of the block? For 10 million, I'll cover my block in white gold, with the dirt over the diamonds. Where we live is like gold. And Sierra Leone's seen the things that people would do for diamonds. They knew what they were doing, trust me. They just had no regard to who's dying. And that's why this isn't corporate manslaughter. I tell that to those who lost families, mums, sons, dads and daughters. Lying in wait with knowledge is first-degree murder, poison, so I believe the charges should be added and taken further. A word to my fellow community, between you and me, I understand the pain when you look out of your window. You lower your eyes when you're walking, thinking about those that have died. I've attended funerals. I watched my mum break down. I cursed the rain for coming late and felt pain when the sun came out. I see the pictures on the wall and it's got me thinking for them all. I felt my phone stop ringing while my friends went missing. I saw the media rush us and I saw tourists when we needed alone time. I still go home to my block and I see TMO signs. It kind of feels like having swastikas put up around the synagogue. I saw atheists showing spirit and I saw different religions linking God. I saw the RBKC letters and I told people don't pay your rent. I've also seen them people listen receive eviction notice with the letters painted red. I've been scarred and I know that you have too. So with due respect, I've got one more thing to ask of you. I have an opinion and I really want to share it, because Grenfell Tower being covered will never help us bear it. They want to cover Grenfell, and this comes to my thoughts. People are killed by the military. You turn on your TV, they won't stop showing wars. People die in car crashes, they won't stop selling cars. And even if they did, it wouldn't change the past or repair the scars. We've lost so much, but now it's their turn to lose. So I hope that for once in our lives, it's our turn to choose. If Grenfell stays up, the property market goes down. When I grew up, the whole of Latimer was council. Look now, there's privatised buildings being built by the dozen. The poor are being pushed out and the rich just keep coming. So have a think about why they really want to cover the show. Personally, I think they're trying to cover the truth and cover themselves. People die from illnesses and we don't cover them. We put charities on TV and ask for your money, then send you letters reminding you of how you helped and where your money went, and put up sad images on the TV like we don't cover, we don't smother them. All they want to do is make our people forget. You owe us a new world, you got to stick with that debt. Between LADBROKE Grove and Notting Hill, it's a very fine line. They just want to cover Grenfell to repair their skyline. Hold up a minute, I think I'm getting deja vu. Leave it rotting inside, but it's alright because they changed our view. People used to go to Holland Park until they changed that school, trying to privatise Holland Park. So Holland Park School, I'm sorry my people ain't made like you. Mum and dad well paid like you. Holland Park School is your hardest, the poor got failed by you. Look on the Holland Park website, I guarantee you can't find an ethnic class or skin colour shade like you. So let's build them a school and take away the local park. And get rid of the kids' football pitches too, because they don't have a charge. So there's no profit. Let's not ask, let's put petitions at the very last of minutes. And let's cover Grenfell up to minimise the chance of scaring the rich kids. They just don't want to see the housing value decrease. We don't want to die for your land, so let's put that to a cease. Maybe you should ban private built housing around this land. And maybe you should consult the community and let us review all your plans. I mean, we all know the private market is rigged, the council's rigged too. They tell us we ain't eligible to bid. The private sector's only accustomed to people that's rich, and that means the poor people around here are having to leave where they live. I mean, damn. My own neighbour told me we couldn't afford the rent. I showed her that our housing benefits would cover it, but housing benefits is something that she wouldn't accept. But of course, the government don't want to pay for us, so they won't make a change for landlords, and they definitely won't make a change for us. I think we're forgotten. I encourage people in the area to stand up and also practice squatting. I think you should hold all the continued building of these private apartments, and you should think about Portobello Road and the shops that are there and the type of people that they target. There's no thoughts for the poor. You should change to accustom those that you leave out. I think you're taking a piss. The survivors still haven't even been rehoused. You should give back what you've taken and tell police to stop raiding. We can see you have underlying intentions and you thrive on confusion. Maybe you should make us a democratic community, your new political movement, and dedicate us a building in LADBROKE Grove where we can call all the shots on local ground plans and change instead of knocking down all the blocks. Maybe you shouldn't keep us segregated, devastated and deprivated. And maybe you should let us advertise our petitions by sending mails or sending letters like you send rent statements, just so not another local soul is left unheard, instead of allowing corporate investors and companies to change our homes and area at the call of one word. Maybe donate a large percentage of the area to social housing. Maybe you should come to us to answer instead of us having to go to Downing. Maybe we should have our own Downing Street, which isn't protected by gates, because the gates would insinuate that you've caused upset and reason. That means you may not feel safe. We can look out for each other around here, because that's what the love can do. When the fire happened, I saw none of these councillors helping. No, not none of you. The government was absent while my family and friends died. The RBKC and the government were too busy wiping Grenfell related documents from their websites. Maybe you should take down our gravestone. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should stop trying to call all the shots and just do as we say so. And maybe after a community meeting you should let the survivors decide, because if I go by past experience, the council would much prefer to hide. I wouldn't be surprised if the reason people are still inside them burnt flats is to sabotage the structure and help it to collapse, in which case you can encase the shell or leave it on display. But if that's too painful, create a new equally visible monument to replace. And I don't mean a dark-lit, half-hearted excuse made of pity. I mean an advertisement of what you'll never again do to this city. For the city, for us, and everybody to see. Maybe all the fallen names in bold with Grenfell written for everybody to read. And please, don't tell me about taxes or matters of wealth. Don't make me pull up the amounts of money you spend to benefit yourselves. And maybe you should stand down, Elizabeth Campbell. You can't help the Grove Latty Road third world. That's not what you stand for. You stand for the TMO. See the poor get poor and just keep them low. Tories, we all want to see them go. Theresa, we definitely want to see her go. Bad policing, we all want to see that go. The way we're treated, we all want to see that go. You see, the police are stopping searching all the kids now the press and cameras are gone. We've been oppressed long enough, so please stop carrying on. Maybe the police shouldn't boast about all the homes that they raid. They raided 50 local homes for Carnival. Leave us alone, it's a grave. Leave us alone, you already know that we're closer to hell. You left the TMO members alone, you didn't throw them in a cell. And I'm pretty sure if a normal person committed murder you would, but you left them all to live in their mansions because they're not from the hood. Maybe I'm paranoid and I have a hard head when I speak, but I find it kind of hard to believe that with an architecture degree, something like a substance being flammable was looked past and not noticed, looked past like the aftermath of our needs and forgotten protests. You failed to mention the area's constant ethnic cleansing under the name of regeneration that's seemingly never ending. And maybe you should mention Grenfell Tower's problem with electrics, and that the only action the TMO took was to refuse to insure people's exploding appliances so they didn't have to spend it. So with the knowledge of gas piping and faulty wires, you still added flammable cladding and no safety precaution for fires. I think you're liars. And I think you ignore petitions. We need a different council, maybe made up of us, to make some different decisions. And maybe you should use that as an example for the rest of Grove. Because you're still cleansing Goulburn, Powys, and you've still already done Portobello. This ain't just Latimer. You need to fix the whole of North Kensington, West 10, West 11. And not to forget the rest of the world. That's my piece there. The enquiry is rigged. The council's rigged. Yeah, go look up Grenfell Towers burning, the music video on YouTube. Type into Google Grenfell Action Group to see the truth. Peace, people, love.